Damn it! What's going on? It's amazing. Everything's changing again. Everything. Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything. Okay, let's see if I can open this. Got it. Let's see. I'm sure that if I tug on it a little... Good. The upholstery came off along with one of the elastic bands that was holding it to the seat. So, let's see. I just made a primitive homemade slingshot.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, kids.
We got Mom out of the house. Now what about that reward?
Yes. I think I have something you might like. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. They're just kids. And this could get them into trouble. I know perfectly well what they're going to use it for, but their aim is amazing. And a little commotion on the camp fence could be a good thing for everyone. Besides, they want to do something for their father. And those pigs at the gate deserve a surprise.
What is it, Michael? Tell us, what is it?
I know it's something you're really going to like. Here you go. It's a slingshot.
It's a slingshot!
Thank you, Michael. With this, we'll be able to hit the watchtowers.
Come on, let's try it.
That'll teach you, pigs.
Attention, all units in Sector 12. Report immediately to the North Watchtower. I repeat, report immediately to the North Watchtower.
What's going on? I don't know. It must be something serious. Come on, let's go.
You hit him!
Haha, yes.
So what do we do now?
I don't know. We've got to get out of here. Quickly, run!
I better take this with me. This quilted fabric fits the size of the window perfectly. Okay, let's try this. And let's cross our fingers that the seat cover absorbs the noise of the breaking glass. If the soldiers next door find me, they'll blow my head off without bothering to ask questions.
You've done it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm safe now. God bless you, stranger. You saved my life.
Take care of yourself, old man. And I don't have to tell you, don't open the door to strangers. Let's see what's on the other side of this hedge. No! Please! These visions! My head!
You won't get any of his things. I won't allow it. Do you hear me?
Michael, is that you? Thank God we found you. It's me, Chris. Don't you recognize me? But there is a solution, Michael. All is not lost. There is still a possibility of salvation for us. For each and every one of us.
You have to stop this, Michael. You have to quit.
I can't do it!
It's destroying us, don't you see? It's killing us.
It's that demon inside me! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. These visions are getting more intense all the time. The pain is unbearable. Who's Chris? Salvation is still possible, he said. Could that be true? And once again, that female voice has been haunting me since I woke up. Who is she? Why was she so distressed? What the hell happened to us? Or is going to happen to us? More of that barbed wire that adorns all the city's buildings. If I get up close enough, I can hear a slight buzz, a sure sign that this fence is electrified. Okay, I'll wear the gloves to cut the electrified wire. Perfect. Let's see what's down here. It's a trapdoor, and it looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time. What is this place? Where the devil am I? It seems like the small building at the ground level is just camouflage. The most important part is here underground. Are all of them dissolved? How many patients can there be packed in here? Dozens? Hundreds? This is horrible! Let's see if this grate can be removed. Perfect. It looks like this hole leads to a passageway on the other side. Locked. Of course. I'm starting to get annoyed with this sense of ownership I see in all the people with closets, lockers, and other storage furniture in this city. I'd rather use a key to open this case, but I'm a bit short on time. So...
Who is it? Who's there?
Oh, excuse me,
What are you doing here? Have you come to steal something? Take one more step and I'll call the soldiers.
No, wait, please, don't do that.
Security, this is Nurse Uma Grundy. I need you to come right away.
No, wait! Wait a minute. Did you say Uma? Nurse Uma?
Yes, that's my name.
Wait, please don't turn me in. I know your father. I saved his life just a few hours ago. They were going to deport him to the refugee camp, but I was able to stop it.
My God, did you say my father? Tell me, how is he? Has anything happened to him?
Don't worry, Uma. He's safe. He told me about you and your work in this place. He was worried. He'll want to know that you're all right. Wait, please don't turn me in.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. It turned out to be a false alarm. You don't have to come, thank you.
Thank you, Uma. You did the right thing. My name is Michael.
But now you should explain why you burst in here like that. What are you looking for, Michael?
I came to get medicine. I need a cure for the dissolved.
Cure? There's no such thing. You won't find it here or anywhere else. The authorities distributed a memo among the medical staff months ago. I'm sure you can still find a copy of it around here somewhere. It told us that they've definitely abandoned the search for a medicine. You made a mistake risking your life to get in here. The only thing we store here is pain. This place is a tomb for those poor infected devils, but also for the people who work here. I'm sorry, Michael. The dissolved are condemned to death.
No, that can't be. There has to be a solution, a cure. Oh man, poor Rod, poor Colin. But I heard in the refugee camp, they said a cure is being produced and stored here. Well, if that's not the case, what's the purpose of a building like this?
The Army deliberately keeps that rumor about a possible cure alive. You see, as long as people still have some hope left, it is much easier to control the city more effectively. But it's a lie.
I understand.
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave, taking advantage of some abandoned underground facilities. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on their project to rebuild the city. They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, we had no idea the disease would become so widespread. I left my job in a clinic downtown to come here. I wanted to lend a hand. They demanded total confidentiality about our work to avoid causing panic in the population. Not even my father knew what we were really doing in here.
Yes, he told me that when I asked him about this place.
At first, we treated the patients with great care. There was medicine to ease their suffering and even research into a possible cure. Everything was going smoothly.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. When the number of patients multiplied, we couldn't keep up. And then we began to run out of even the most basic supplies. And that was when the Army took over complete control of the center.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was allowed to leave, not even us. We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months, isolated without even a glimpse of daylight. They say it's for security reasons. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah, now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers, and then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can do to ease their suffering. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it. That's all we can do with the resources we have. And sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Condemned to die. I heard their cries of pain out there. What really happens to the dissolved?
These people suffer the most excruciating pain and die in the most horrible way I've ever seen. The first symptoms are bouts of nausea and fainting, which become more frequent and prolonged as the disease progresses, until in the end their entire metabolism enters a state of shock. Then their entire cell structure dissolves. It simply disintegrates. There's no medical explanation. It just happens. But there's something even stranger about the disease.
What could be stranger than what you just told me?
The dissolved become erratic, unpredictable, eccentric. They're uncontrollable. That's why the Army fears them. They're afraid of their unpredictable behavior, but also of their strange messages. So the sole function of this place is to keep them locked away, hidden, and under the Army's control, until death takes them off their hands, one by one. It's also why people who harbor the dissolved are punished. And it's also the reason for the existence of the cleanup brigades.
But I thought they were just controlling the patients to keep the disease from spreading.
But that's a lie, a blatant lie. The spread of the disease is accelerating. The number of cases is multiplying every day. But it's not contagious. We doctors and nurses have been treating the sick for months, in direct contact with them and their remains. And the rate of contagion among us is no higher than out there. The Army is lying.
But then, how is the disease spread?
We don't know, Michael. No one knows. What we do know is that it's not caused by direct contact with the victims. There's another reason for the Army's secrecy about the dissolved. Fear. It's human nature to fear the unknown. We tend to panic when faced with something we don't understand. And this damned disease is more than any of us can handle.
And What is it that makes the dissolve so unpredictable and dangerous?
They know, Michael. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, they know. They talk about events no one else knows about. They sense things. They bring back information from the places they go. And they talk to the dead there, Michael. They communicate with the dead. They know, Michael. That's all.
They're just sick people, Uma.
No! They're more than just ordinary sick people. You wouldn't talk like that if you had been living with them, and their messages and their prophecies all these months.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the dissolved make prophecies?
Let me tell you a story. When I first came to the center, I became friendly with a patient, a 13-year-old girl. All the time I was taking care of her, she never stopped chatting. She told me all about the underground highways. She said she went there every day.
Underground highways?
She said they all went there when they lost consciousness. Obviously, I felt great pity for the girl, but in time I also came to feel tremendous fear. I was afraid of that poor, hopeless child. Her visions, her dreams, her messages terrified me. And then one night she sat down next to another patient, an older woman who looked surprisingly healthy. According to our calculations, this woman still had a few months to live. The woman had just lost consciousness. "Leave me alone with her," the girl said to me. "It won't be long now." And she took the woman's hand. And just seconds later, the woman started to dissolve, shrieking and writhing in pain, until there was nothing left of her but a puddle of brown, viscous liquid. The girl turned to me and said, "I knew she was leaving us, and I didn't want her to go alone. That would have been very sad, wouldn't it, Uma?" The girl's face was still dripping with the remains of the patient. She knew what was going to happen, Michael. She saw it. From then on, my fear became uncontrollable. I felt defenseless next to her.
I understand.
Finally, my panic was so great that I refused to go anywhere near her. And I even, God forgive me, I felt secretly relieved when she herself finally dissolved. They know, Michael, and that's why they're so dangerous to the people in power now.
The cleanup brigades. I've seen how they behave.
They're savages. I despise them. They're like predatory animals, heartless and unscrupulous. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting expeditions. The GPSs, the disease detection tests, their ID badges. Each unit is made up of 2 soldiers, 1 doctor and 1 nurse. I mean, doctors and nurses collaborating with those bloodthirsty animals. But then they say, "What do you want? It's our job, and somebody's got to do it."
Yes, that phrase sounds familiar. It's bone-chilling. Police and criminals using exactly the same words to justify their actions. You gotta do what you gotta do. That seems to be the slogan of the executioners of this new world.
Talk to my father, Michael. Tell him that I'm all right, that he shouldn't worry, that we'll be seeing each other soon, very soon.
Let's see. Inside, I only see dust and old papers, and a tiny key. Let's see if it's the key to this closet. Bingo! I'm not going to take any. A small red LED is blinking on all of them, an unmistakable sign that they've been used. It's an internal Army memo for the hospital's medical staff. The report talks about the failure to develop a cure for the dissolved, and what's even worse, the decision to finally abandon the search for one. Authorized Vehicle Pass. It's the ID that allows the cleanup brigades to get in and out of the hospital compound in their macabre ambulances. From what I can tell, the Army can pump you full of lead if you try to come through the gate without one of these. According to one of the cleanup brigade's forums, this is the device they use to navigate during their raids. Sort of like an electronic map. It looks like some satellites are actually still working after the Great Wave. Something I could easily confirm if this contraption had batteries in it. This street is even more desolate and silent than it was before. I guess while I was in the subterranean hospital for the dissolved, the soldiers called the curfew. What are you doing out here, ma'am? What's the matter?
It's my brother. He's disappeared. We don't know where he is.
What do you mean he's disappeared?
Well, we haven't seen him since he spoke to you, since he ran out of the church. We've been searching for him for hours and can't find him anywhere.
And you don't have any idea where he might have gone?
No, he simply ran out of the door, completely out of control. I've never seen him so upset, and we haven't heard anything from him since. I just know that something terrible has happened to him. My brother is very sick and he shouldn't be out there alone and unprotected. I fear the worst.
Calm down. There's no reason to think that anything has happened to him.
I have a feeling that something awful has happened. I'm sure of it. Besides, the soldiers have already called the curfew. If they find him on the street alone and lost, in his condition, my brother is a very beloved and respected person. But those beasts don't care who he is.
I understand.
We have to get off the street. Please, if you see my brother, tell him to come home. Tell him we're waiting for him.
Of course. I'll do that.
The camp is closed, Rat. Get away from the gate.
But I have to come in. It's urgent. What happened?
There's no understanding you worms. Always wanting to get out of here. Once you're outside, you're dying to get back in. One of our soldiers was killed, and the camp will remain closed until the matter is cleared up. So take a hike.
There was an attack?
Yes. Someone hit one of the sentries in the watchtowers with a rock and made him fall out. He was killed instantly. Luckily, it seems there was a witness who saw the perpetrators launch the projectile, and they have been detained. But we never trust the testimony of a rat, so we're waiting for the criminals to confess, or for the murder weapon to turn up.
I don't think it's going to take very long to get the truth out of these kids. Or to find the weapon they used to commit the crime.
Good God. What have I done? I knew I shouldn't have gotten them mixed up in this. But they're just a couple of scared kids. Don't you see that? What are you planning on doing with them?
Killing an official is punishable by death, and martial law is quite clear in this respect. They acted as adults, and they will pay for their actions as adults. As soon as they confess, or we find the weapon they used to commit the crime, we'll take care of matters. Do you have a problem with the law being enforced?
You're nothing but a gang of warped psychopathic pigs.
One more word and I'll blow your head off right now, bastard. I couldn't care less what privileges that bracelet might give you. Get out of my sight.
Those pigs are gonna kill the boys, and it'll be my fault. I'll be responsible for their deaths. I can't let that happen. I have to do something, and fast. But what? Wait a minute. There's something floating in the pit. But I can't see what it is from up here. Before I go down, I'll leave the heavy stuff here, in case the rope doesn't support my weight. Jesus! It's the corpse of Reverend Blake! His neck is broken. In his delirium, he must not have seen the rope I left tied around the tree, and must have fallen from the top when he was trying to get down here. But what the hell was he looking for here? Damn it. If I don't prevent it, those bastards in uniform are going to execute the boys. For God's sake, I have to think of some way to save them, and I have to do it now. Let's see what's in here. Good idea. I could use Reverend Blake as a scapegoat to protect those children. On the other hand, And being one of the most famous and respected men in the city, I doubt anyone would believe my story if I accused him of attacking the sentry in the tower. This is gonna be hard. Very hard. But those children are innocents in all this. And those ruthless savages are about to kill them in cold blood. I have no other choice. God damn it! I had the visions again! Not now. I have to do this. I've got to do this. My head!
You've got to stop this, Michael. I can't stand it anymore. This has to end.
I can't help it. It's that demon. You know I can't help it.
Please, Michael. Please. Make it stop.
Yes. That tiny, cowardly demon. I remember. That brutal sensation of acid running through your veins. Corroding, little by little, anything good and decent you might have left inside you, turning it into pain, rot, and emptiness. I remember it. I remember. I can smell it, feel it, touch it.
No, please, don't do it. No!
That cowardly demon. That dark and intimate specter that only you know, that gains strength in this new world. Digging its claws into your soul like a jagged piece of glass. Whispering in your ear that what you're doing is right. Because nobody has the authority to tell you otherwise. Good God, what have I done? What have I done? Why are you showing me this? Please. Answer me! Who was I before the catastrophe? Before the world collapsed? Do I really want to know? God, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of myself. There's no time for guilt. To save those children, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Damn it! I'm starting to sound like the hunter. You have to let those boys go. They're innocent. You've got the wrong people.
What are you insinuating, rat? You better have a good reason for saying something like that, or we'll splatter your brains all over the wall of shame, and then use the kids for target practice.
I know who the guilty party is. I know who committed the crime, and I know where he is.
Hey, we've got to hear this. Start talking, rat.
Okay, here goes. I hope those pigs take the bait, because if they find out the truth, I'm a dead man. The murderer was a deranged man I met in the city a few hours ago. He told me he was desperate, tired of the humiliation and violence he had to face every day. He was determined to do something crazy. I didn't believe him at the time, but now I see that he wasn't kidding. After the attack, he committed suicide by jumping into the cesspit next to the camp road. You'll find him there. His face is unrecognizable from hitting the rocks and scraping against the rubble, but I'm sure you'll find the murder weapon next to his body.
We'll check out your story and see if it holds up.
We're approaching what looks like a body. It looks like that worm was right. Over.
What a mess. What the hell happened to his face?
Meh, who cares?
We found the guilty party with the murder weapon. Let those kids go. And unlock the camp gate. Over.
You can come in now, rat.